Squid Game is one of my favorite shows of all time, and nothing has come close really. The amount of emotion I felt while watching this for the first time was unparalleled. Who would have thought that this random Korean TV show would become this massive pop culture icon? Because this was huge when the first season dropped. There was a tiny resurgence when season 2 aired, and the same will probably happen in season 3. There is no better time to talk about this show, because as of recording, Season 3 is soon to be released, so let's talk about it. Also, I strongly encourage you to watch this show unspoiled, because it's a great experience. How is Squid Game able to make a banger right off the rip? If you somehow don't know what this show is about, I'll tell you right now. People who are extremely in debt compete in 6 children's games to win a massive cash prize. But if they lose whatever game, they die, and money is added to the total prize. By the way, the moment the players realize this fact is so great. You can tell exactly what everyone is thinking, and what happens after is beautifully chaotic. There is a lot of teaming and betrayals, which is helped by how likable the characters are. The main character is Gyeong, who is a pathetic, sad person, and a severe gambling addict. He steals from his mother, forgets his daughter's birthday, and you probably hate the thought of following this guy throughout. Gyeong gets one of the best character growths I've ever seen. After he enters the games, we see more of his positive traits, like how compassionate he is to others. This allows him to build connections with the other contestants, and create a team that trusts each other. Gyeong is also the most unlucky lucky person out there. He loses all his money to gambling, but is somehow able to scrape by in these death games. And in one of the games, he starts getting destroyed because it involves gambling. The people he teams up with are great as well. Sungwoo knew Gyeong when they were kids, and is very quick on what's happening in the games. Ali is a loyal and kind person with a lot of strength. He's almost loyal to a fault, mostly being a follower instead of a leader. And then there's Il-nam, a sweet little old man who has a brain tumor, but it doesn't stop him from being one of the most positive people in this game. There are other side characters, but they're kind of whatever to me. I don't even remember their names. Every single actor puts their all into their roles, with some of the most emotional scenes hitting way harder. The scene with Gyeong and Il-nam brings me to tears every time. It's a shame that every one of these characters have to die, but that's the name of the game, baby. What this show does right is realizing how dumb these people would probably look if they stayed after seeing a bunch of people die. So after the first game, everyone votes on whether to leave or stay, and the majority pick leave. Everyone gets sent home, and are forced to look at what situation they're in. Almost all the players agree to come back, solely based on how desperate for cash they all are. And I think it's genius. Everyone chooses to go in their own free will, so they can only blame themselves. It was nice to get a whole episode seeing what kind of financial situation everyone was in, so we know why they came back. But I think this takes up too much time. We've already gotten a taste of the premise by now, so all I want to see is the games. I should probably give some context on what games are being played here. The first is red light, green light. Players move on green light and stop at red light. If you are still moving, you get shot. Second is honeycomb. Before players know what the game is, they have to pick a shape, then must remove that shape from the honeycomb. If it breaks, you get shot. Third is tug of war. Players pick teams before knowing the game, and must pull rope better than other team. If you don't, you fall to death. Fourth is marbles. Players pick partners before knowing what the game is, and must get all 10 of the other players' marbles in whatever game they choose. If you lose all your marbles, you get shot. Fifth is the most bullshit game, glass stepping stones. Players must pick what order they want to play in without knowing what the game is, then go across this bridge in order. They have to pick 2 panels. One is tempered glass and can hold people, but the other is regular glass and can't hold anyone. If you pick the wrong one, you fall to death. And the last one is Squid Game, and the rules are too complicated to explain, but if you lose, you get shot. I really like most of these games, because they're very suspenseful and intense to watch. I have a big problem with glass stepping stones, however. See, every other game needs some kind of skill or strategy, where this is dumb luck. And then the survivors get glass hurled at them? Okay, buddy. On the other hand, I really like how they handled the marbles game. It's a devious twist to have the players pick partners without knowing they'll be competing against each other. This leads to the main team picking each other, and my boy Ali is done so dirty by Sungwoo. Throughout the show, we've gotten hints that Sungwoo is more malicious than he seems, but it all comes out when he tricks Ali into giving him his marbles. Gyeong and Il-nam are partners, and this is a very tough situation to watch. These two have been buddies since the start, and he's got cancer and dementia. A lot of the other games are quick and intense, while this whole section takes place over an episode, and we are forced to watch as they draw out the fact that some of these characters are dying. There's this constant atmosphere of dread cast upon the whole show, and I love that. There is no glimmer of hope at all throughout the whole season. The games all end with Gi-young being the winner, but it almost didn't go that way. Sungwoo was his last competition, and after murdering a bunch of people to get here, Gi-young won't allow him to win the money. The two fight, and Gi-young offers to stop the game, so they can both leave empty-handed but alive. Sungwoo refuses to go back to the outside world and face his demons, so game ends himself, making Gi-young the winner. 46 billion won is forced upon him, and he can't bring himself to touch it. The story doesn't end here though. Gi-young uses the money to help others in his life, and vows to stop the games in the next season. Oh boy, I love this season. It's such a roller coaster of emotions with really captivating characters, and a premise that is so disturbing but interesting. It brings up the question whether this corporation, or whatever it is evil or not. The reason the games are on is to give these people a chance to turn their life around. Everything is played fair most of the time. And yes, there is an element of rich assholes putting bets on people, so I don't know. The actual sets of the show are kind of haunting, like they came out of the backrooms or something. The instantly iconic theme song makes the shots of these places feel chilling, and nothing else has made me feel this way. I didn't mention there's a side plot of a cop infiltrating the games to find his brother, which he does. It's the frontman who runs the place. And I'll bring this up now to segue into the second season. Season 2 of Squid Game is an excellent continuation of the first, but I don't think it gets to the same highs as that one. To be fair though, this is technically only part 1 of 2, with the next season continuing this. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but when you have to wait a little while longer for the next part, you want this to feel satisfying by itself. Sadly, it doesn't do that. We only get to experience 3 out of the 6 games. The B plot with Jung-ho looking for the island doesn't pay off in any way, and the C plot with the soldier character doesn't lead anywhere either. I know all of these will be resolved in the next season, because it is the final one, but we don't get much out of the end of this season. I would have been fine if it ended with Junho finding the island. I shit you not, the only thing that came from this is that we know the boat captain helping them is working for the frontman, and only we find this out, not the characters. If you ignore this fact, you still get a really solid piece of television here. It does a lot differently, which you would hope, and the games are completely different this time around. Let's discuss them. Game 1 is Red Light Green Light. We already know this one. Second game is Six-Legged Pentathlon. Players choose teams of 5, then are all tied together. They must each complete 1 out of the 5 Mario Party mini-games before time runs out. This is a pretty suspenseful one, if not a little basic. Game 3 is Mingle. A voice calls a number, and the players have to arrange themselves in groups of that same number and get into a room before time runs out. This is probably my favorite game out of all of them, as there's pretty much no skill or luck. It's just if the players can get into teams in time. It's really intense. Game 4 is... oh, that's it. Honestly, these 2 games are huge improvements over the last seasons. I just think these ones are a little more interesting since they focus mainly on teamwork. Thankfully, we have great characters to go along with this idea. I seriously think this cast is another improvement over the first season. Not that there's anything wrong with those guys, but we spend a lot more time with these ones and see each other interacting with one another more. We got Gi-young returning, obviously, as he heads back into the games to save everyone and put a stop to them. Jongbae, who was Gi-young's best friend in season 1, enters the games and is my favorite character. He gets a lot of funny lines and has excellent chemistry with pretty much every main character. I just realized it's gonna take a long time to describe all these guys, since there is a lot of them. Speedrun, Pregnant Lady, Mother and Son, Ex-Military Sergeant, Coward Marine, Crypto Guy, Thanos. Yes, that's his name.
Red, orange, yellow, green, I'm a legend, Thanos.
Guy with Sick Kid. And finally, the Frontman, going undercover in the game to spy on Gi-young. I am not even kidding when I say they make the Frontman such a great character. We know what he's up to, but he puts on such a great facade that you start to think that he genuinely likes these people. Look at him cheering here. His ass is not faking. We get a bit of his backstory, and I'm gonna save talking about it until season 3. It's a little sad to see him shoot Jongbae. No! This was a devastating loss for me. With all these characters, I kind of wish they were more connected in a way. Most of them spend the time in 2 groups, with there even being a third one with Mr. Grape over here. They eventually come together but I still can't remember their names because they were so scattered the whole time. We get some characters not in the games as well, like this fella helping Junho looking for the island, the captain, and nameless mercenaries. This whole side plot doesn't develop at all. We keep cutting back to it with no progression happening, and it comes off as pointless at times. They just keep saying, oh, we need to find the island, and then don't. This was part of Gi-young's plan, and he was not sitting around. For the past 2 years, he's been using the money he won to hire his old loan shark to find the recruiter, buying guns and a whole ass hotel. Gi-young is so assertive and I love it. He continues his development into a strong character and beats the recruiter in Russian roulette. He also stages a rebellion in the games, which starts off strong but later dies, like Jong-bae. This whole section was a nice change of pace and very exciting. It echoes what I consider one of the main themes of the season, hope. Instead of that aroma of dread from the last season, there's one of hope. Gi-young returning gives the other contestants hope of making it out alive, as he acts as a symbol, inspiring those to be like him. In the 6-legged pentathon, everyone cheers for the teams playing, and it almost makes you forget what's happening. The rebellion gives everyone a glimmer of hope that maybe they'll finally make it out alive. Now, there is another big theme here, and that's greed. This set of games has a new gimmick. After every game, the players can vote whether to stay or leave, and even split whatever money has accumulated. With the idea of leaving at any time, people get comfortable and start believing they need to do one more game to get more money, and the cycle continues. This whole voting thing reveals the character's true intentions, and drives a rift between some of them. It's a cool element to keep up the drama. Okay, confession time. I've been watching the English dub for this video, and even though the dub has been rough at times, I think they're improving a lot. The jump from season 1 to 2 makes it so obvious. The deliveries are way better, but there still are some questionable moments.
Play these games before! I said I played these games before!
Jong-bae has the best dub.
Like this? Like we're the conga line, huh? Seriously though, this is some weird shit.
So season 2 of Squid Game is great, but it's definitely handicapped by the fact that it's only the first half of a whole story. They did a great job with all the new characters, and I guess I have to wait till season 3. Alright, spend some time now. Season 3 of Squid Game came out, and my hair is different. I think this season wraps mostly everything up pretty well. I will say I wasn't expecting a lot of what happened, and that's the magic of the show. A lot of the characters got satisfying endings, and the heartstring pulling scenes worked effectively. But this isn't perfect. This character, Min-soo, has been bullied by Thanos and his gang for a while, and he lasts way longer than I expected. He's a cowardly type who let one of his friends die. His character goes in a weird direction as he becomes a druggie, and it's all kind of weird. He gets his revenge, yeah, but I don't care. I'm also a little disappointed that the frontman didn't get a lot to do here. He was such an interesting character last season, and I was hoping to at least learn more about him. We did get to see a tiny moment from his games, and how he won them, so that was nice. The frontman did end up being one of my favorite characters, but I wish there was more to say about him. He didn't even get any moments with Junho, considering that's what I thought his subplot was going towards. Instead, it just stalled out. Junho did find the island, yes, but only spends 30 minutes on it. Sees his brother once, and that's all we get. Very underwhelming, but at least the other subplot got a good payoff. Soldier 11 did successfully save player 246. You know, the guy with the sick kid. This wasn't anything massive, but it was a nice story. And the main plot in the games did end in a weird way, all things considered. Let's finish discussing the games first. The fourth game was hide and seek. Players are randomly divided into hiders and seekers, with the hiders trying to outlast the time limit, or finding an exit, and the seekers needing to murder at least one hider. Fifth game is jump rope. Pretty simple. Players must cross the bridge while avoiding the rope before time runs out. This is probably one of the easiest games. And the last game is Sky Squid Game, where players must push at least one player off the pillar, and repeat on the other two. While I think hide and seek and jump rope are okay games, that last one is so anticlimactic to me. It's not even a game really, just a debate. And the worst part is that most of the players left aren't anyone we know. Like the old guy and crypto guy are here. But who are these people? The other main characters we were following were picked off one by one, with there being a lot of surprising ones in there. Player 222 had her baby, but then she dies. So now the baby is considered a player, and this is devious. Gi-young must protect the baby, because literally all these people want it dead for more money. Even its father! This then turns the crypto guy into a villain, because he wants to kill his own kid, oh my lord. This was honestly wild, and I like how this affects Guillaume's character. See, this baby wins the games, with a hard carry from Guillaume. One of them must die on this last pillar, so Guillaume sacrifices himself, proving to the frontman that people are more than just animals. It was also pretty funny watching an anger-filled Guillaume trying to murk this coward, who turns out to be an asshole. He's not even a marine, and how dare he lie to Jungbei. I want to keep this part of the video short, because this just came out, and I want you to watch it for yourself. So did the Squid Game finale stick the landing? Yeah, kind of. Some aspects were pulled off better than others, but it was still solid. I'm happy one of my favourite shows wasn't tarnished with a shitty ending. The future for the franchise is pretty uncertain, but they did tease an American Squid Game, so I hope it continues in that direction. I think it would also be interesting if maybe we got like a spin-off showing what the very first games were like. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here.